Yo, what up? 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 Um, I have no idea how to start this, so I guess I'll just jump into it. I saw a shadow creature. Normally I see shadow. I don't see shadow creatures very often. Um, but they're easier to see when you're in like a dreamlike state. So I normally see them. My teeth look so good. What's up? All right. Um, I see shadow creatures when I'm really tired or when I'm in like a dreamlike when I'm kind of like in a dreamlike state. So like when I first wake up, I see shadow creatures. And I believe what I saw was an archon. Now, there's a theory on archons, and this has been we've had writings on archons for thousands of years. So basically, archons are these beings that feed off of our negative energy, right? That's what the theory is. Is that they're these beings that just they feed off of us. But I had this idea of like, what if they're not evil? You know what I mean? Like, what if they feed off of our negative energy, but that doesn't make them evil? Humans are very negative creatures, right? We have programmed ourselves to be very negative. I don't think anyone has done that to us but ourselves, right? Humans have made other humans negative, right? Our governments are very corrupt. The people around us like to complain a lot, et cetera, et cetera. And so the archons just found a way to harvest our negative energy. And so like does that make them evil? And I don't think so. Not necessarily. But I do believe that they've been corrupted and they might be evil now in a way. I still don't think they want to like kill us or harm us, but we we're very sensitive to fear, right? Very few people are aware of their subconscious, right? Like, so let me give you an example of my thought process. I'm sitting here saying maybe the archons aren't evil, but there's a voice in my head that's saying, "Oh, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are evil." Now, what is that? That's most likely my own doubt, right? That's that voice that I'm hearing that's like, "Oh no, they are evil." That's most likely my own self doubt, right? But I'm aware of it, so it doesn't hold as much power over me because I'm aware of it. But a lot of people, they're not aware of things, and that's how fear and doubt creep in, and you start to derail and you spiral and all this stuff. But I've thought like maybe the archons really aren't evil. I don't know, maybe they're a little bit corrupted now just because of all the negative energy, but um I don't know, this is my theory. But yeah, life is I've become very apathetic towards things. But this is my apathy has in a way become my superpower. Right? I've taken my apathy and I've learned not to try so hard. Everyone, I think the problem with the world is that everyone's trying so fucking hard all the time. You know what I mean? Like, I think the problem is that everyone is trying so hard to be something, and that just breeds negativity because it's this constant, like, I need to do more, I need to do more, I need to do more. It's really never ending, and it just creates this constant stress, this constant desire for approval, both from yourself and from others, this constant, need to like feel like you are something and somebody. And I've just kind of decided to, I don't want to be a part of that anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I already am something. I exist. I'm already here. there's things that I enjoy. You know, I enjoy my cigars. I enjoy my energy drink. Dude, I'm sipping on a Monster right now, bro. And people are always like, "Oh, that shit's so bad for you." It's like, okay, cool. I like it, so I do it every once in a while, or not even every once in a while. I'll do it a lot. I love to smoke. I love to drink caffeine. You know, it's like the difference is I'm not beating myself up about it. You know, like everyone, so many people are obsessed with the fitness industry. Dude, I'm fat, but I'm very healthy for the most part. Like I have a very healthy body. I'm just fat. I went to the doctor recently and they're like, dude, everything's perfect. And what do? I work out a couple days a week. You know, I try to eat some fruit here and there, take my vitamins. I don't try too hard. I'm fat. Like, yeah, I'm fat, but I'm not unhealthy. I smoke, I drink, but I also manage my stress level. Like, I'm not stressed out like ever. I used to be a very stressed out person. And now I'm just not stressed out about shit. I'm just like, yeah, it is what it is, man. Like, there's no point in sitting here and stressing out. And so, went to the doctor, got a bunch of blood work done, got a bunch of stuff done. And they're like, yeah, dude, you're very healthy. You're fat, but you're not really unhealthy. And, so when I look at my own situation, it just makes me think it's like, okay, so what am I trying so hard for? Why am I so obsessed with this idea of eating healthy? Why am I so obsessed with going to the gym? And it's like, oh, because I was programmed to be that way. I was programmed to constantly be seeking progress and doing this and doing that. And it's just too much, man. I'm tired of it. I'm burnt out from the world, from pursuing the world, right? That's the thing. I'm tired of pursuing the world. Instead, I enjoy what I have, what's in reach. And a lot of people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're lazy." I was like, "Okay, maybe I am." In your eyes, yeah, I am. I'm lazy, sure. But I've become very content with my life. And there's kind of like this apathetic glaze, but I'm starting to realize that I don't really think it's so much apathy as it is just content. I used to make myself depressed, right? Listen to what I'm saying. I used to make myself depressed because I was trying too hard. I was going to the gym 5, 6 days a week. I was trying to eat perfect. I was doing this. I was like, oh, I got to make more money. I got to do this. I got to do that. And now I'm just like, being homeless doesn't scare me, right? The idea of becoming homeless again doesn't scare me. If I really want an apartment, I'm sure I can find something. You know, all I've ever really, the only thing I really care about is I enjoy human connection. But the problem is a lot of people just don't, they're not at the same level of awareness that I'm at. And so the conversations are just kind of meh. I love humans. I really do. But they are very negative and they're very unaware and they're very ignorant thing. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm not saying that I'm perfect by any means. I've spent most of my life completely unaware. Not completely unaware, but I've spent a good majority of my life not realizing my own ignorance, which is kind of the point. That's what ignorance is. It's the things that you don't see, that you're not aware of. And so I spent a long time in my life not even aware of my own ignorance and not being able to say that out loud. Like, I am ignorant. There are things that I don't understand. There are things that I'm missing. It was this idea that I was simultaneously better and worse than everybody. Now I'm realizing, no, I'm not better than anybody. I'm just different than a lot of people. Right? I'm different. I have a different level of awareness than a lot of people. So it makes it hard to interact with them, but they're not wrong. I don't think they're wrong in the way that they exist. I don't think they're bad people in the way that they exist. There's just a disconnect between me and them because of how I think, right? The way I think is very different from the majority. And I'm no longer really depressed because of that. I've really learned to enjoy being alone now, right? Like, I went from needing constant validation and approval and acceptance to now I'm just like, I'm chilling. You know what I mean? I'm chilling. And I think I think the reason why the world is the way that it is because we try too hard. You know, if a lot of people started if a lot of people just kind of gave up for a while, I think it would actually fix things. Right? If a bunch of people just stopped going to work, stopped paying their bills, stopped trying so hard to be the best, I think that would actually fix a lot of things because if we aren't constantly working, the government has nothing to control, right? Like if we just kind of let everything fall apart, then, something new would take its place. But I don't know if that's going to happen in my lifetime, realistically. But I can do it for myself. You know what I mean? I can sit back and I'm just kind of watching the world burn, but not with a lens of resentment, right? I'm sitting here and I'm watching the world burn. I'm watching everyone panic. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine right now. I'm alive. I'm still breathing. Cool, I'm fine. Right? My only concerns are really food and water. At the end of the day, the only thing I really need to get by is food and water. Everything else is just a luxury. I can go without smoking. I can go without my energy drinks. I can go without sleep. I can go without being super comfortable, right? I can go without these things. But I have them right now, so I'm enjoying them. Right? I have comfort right now. I have a nice apartment right now. I have the money to buy nicotine and caffeine and enjoy it. So I'm enjoying it, right? And I watch YouTube and I play video games and I do these things. But if I were to lose it all tomorrow, I'd be fine. And I'm aware of that. Right? I can confidently say if I were to lose everything I have right now tomorrow, I would be fine. And I don't think a lot of people can say that, right? A lot of people would freak the fuck out. And the first time I lost everything, I freaked out a little bit. But even then, even the first time I lost everything, I'd say I was rather calm. Much calmer than like the average person would be in that situation, right? And people cling to things a lot. But again, I don't know if that's the wrong way to live. That's just another way to live, right? I've decided to go down the path of detachment. That's my path. I have decided to go down the path of detachment where I'm not attached to anything or anyone. I care about people and I care about things and I want to see people do well and be happy. But at the same time, if they don't, well, it is what it is and it doesn't really affect me, right? And it sounds kind of selfish, but again, it's not through a lens of resentment. I'm not wishing harm upon them. But if harm comes to them, well, there's nothing I can do about it. So I'm just going to move on. And, it's very liberating. It's very freeing. Right? We have so much at our disposal. We don't need to keep creating more constantly. Right? Everyone has access to a phone. It's easy to get a free phone nowadays. Get a free phone, get a free computer. It's easy to, you know what I mean? Like these things are so easy to come by. Free food. It's very easy to survive. It's become very easy to survive. It's become harder to be comfortable. That's the part. It's become harder to be comfortable, right? Bills, everything's more and more and more expensive. But if you're just trying to survive, it's actually very easy to survive. But it's harder to have a bunch of luxuries unless you're, at the top, right? Top. You gotta have money to have all these luxuries. But if you don't really care about those luxuries, then you're fine, right? So I don't think archons are evil. I just think humans are very negative creatures. And the path that I've chosen is detachment. I'm not attached to anything. I enjoy what I have, and when it's gone, it's gone. And I think that's a good way to live for me. So, alright. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.